Okay, welcome everyone to our council meeting. If we want to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, but I'd like the girls' team to lead us in the pledge, if you'd like.
All right.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Okay. We are, next, we have our roll call, Kate.
Here. Here.
Here. He's on online there.
Here.
Here.
Thank you, Kate. So we have our presentation of something tonight. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, I think I know. We want to recognize our Little League 12U softball all-star team. So what I'd like to do is I want to read this proclamation, but I would like the head coach, if you could come up, meet me at the podium, I'm going to let you go through the names because I'll murder them all and it won't be good. It's better if you're going to read the names off. I'll read the beginning of the proclamation and wrap it up. And then we'll call them up. I think yes, I think everyone's getting a proclamation. Right?
All right.
And Donna as well. So we have a Town of Berlin proclamation, be it known to all that the Town of Berlin hereby recognizes the Berlin Little League 12U softball all-star team. So for completing a very successful 2024 softball season, after losing Game 1 in a double elimination tournament, the all-star team went on to win 4 straight games, were crowned the District 5 champions. Next, they successfully captured the Section 2 championship title by defeating Avon and Shelton. This advanced them to the Connecticut State 12U Little League All-Star Final Four, where they lost in 2 very close games. The amazing run was achieved with strong leadership of head coach John Simonowski. I should be able to pronounce that name. Assistant coach Ryan Burke, Chris Ecker, and Danielle Gornault. Through the hard work and dedication, believing in each other as a team, players, I'm going to let you read off the players, coach.
Players: Harper Amos, Charlotte Brezel, Nadia Brochu, Grace Burke, Isabella Carling, Jordan Eckert, Bella Gavalis, Alexis Gernalt, Charlotte Henderson, Drea LaJoy, Ella Lanois, Callie Samansky, and Ashley Thorpe.
And, right, we'll step back in here. We're able to accomplish a notable feat that is believed to be Berlin's first sectional championship for a major division team. So in recognition of an extraordinary group of athletes and their outstanding achievement in sports excellence this season, Town Council congratulates the Berlin Little League 12U softball all-star team and salute you all in attaining this noteworthy achievement dated today's date by myself on behalf of the council. So congratulations. Excellent. Excellent. So we want to present everyone with a. Get the first. So if you want to, guess maybe come on up and you guys each your, come on up. Don't be shy. Come on, you're champions of softball team here. Everyone's gonna get their proclamation. I'll open it up. And then Donna will be next. That should be.
Yeah, we're not done.
Read that one. Same time. Well, you know,
It's like the movie.
ladies can stand right here. Well, I'll give you these, and then Donna's gonna read something too. Yeah, I think.
President.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Take it. Hey.
Evening, girls. Thank you for
Take
taking the time to come out and receive these citations. We're very, very proud of you. I'm an old BHS softball mom, so there's been many a day that I sat in that seat, like your coaches and your parents, and make us very proud. I know it's a lot of hard work and perseverance and cold nights and freezing days. But thank you all and congratulations. Very well deserved. So I have a citation for each one of you and your coaches. And it's in recognition of the 2024 Berlin Little League 12U softball all-star team and your summer of victory, capturing the title of Connecticut District 5 champions in the double elimination district tournament, winning 4 consecutive games against Bristol, Farmington, and winning against Wallingford twice, triumphantly acquiring their title, defeating Avon and Shelton to win the Section 2 championship and making it to the Final Four Connecticut State 12U Little League All-Star Tournament as one of 4 remaining teams. We join together to congratulate you on your athletic achievements. It's from myself, Representative Veach, Representative Fazzino, and Senator Lopes. Congratulations, girls. Mike Callie was one of the winners for District 5 too, so this is really, really taking me back, so. Heather, how do you
I
wanna,
don't know, we'll go ahead and,
let's see.
we'll just kind of walk down the line here.
Mine
Right.
have their individual names on
Oh,
it, so
I see.
sorry.
They have more money.
Yeah.
We can't afford that in this town, but all your names are mentioned.
Give him to the coach, Donna. Give him to the coach. He knows him.
Mark, you wanna take a quick picture of all the kids up here?
Oh, they get to come out?
Here, whatever you guys.
Knowing hi.
Grace, come this way. Come here.
Go ahead, and then you head out that way.
Yeah. Maybe, right. Maybe.
It's not awkward at all. It's fine.
No, you're the only one that could fit.
All right.
Come on.
Yeah, perfect. All right, line up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, look, you're stuck with me. Huh. Oh, yes. Yeah. Can't get away from you, can you? Kind of awesome, right?
Where were the games played? The last 4 games, where were they played? Mark, why don't you have the coaches come up? too?
We'll sit down and, sorry. A lot of regret here.
I should get out of the picture so I don't blow up a couple cameras.
Get in here and the coaches are coming up.
Gonna get a glare.
All up here, everybody's good?
I think so.
We're all in.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right, there we go, yes. Great. Everybody good?
Everybody take them?
Yeah?
All right.
Congratulations, girls. You got your
Congratulations.
Coaches, great job.
Yay.
Making Berlin proud. That's excellent, excellent. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure.
Thank
Our
you.
pleasure. Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Hey, it was the high point of
job,
our
yeah,
night,
you
I'm
did, right?
sure.
We just-
Great job, girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, make him sit through the whole meeting.
Be out of here by 7:30 because they have school in the morning.
Yeah, why don't you stay and see government in action? No, just kidding. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. It's not, it's ugly. Yeah, yeah, there you go. We'll let them filter out for a moment here. Yeah, that was nice. That's great. That's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
If I had $1 for every mile I drove back in those days.
Oh.
Woodland Park was
I
the
hear ya.
best.
Everywhere, right? Yeah,
It's like such a commitment. It is. It's a huge commitment.
it is. That's for sure.
Builds character.
Yes, it does.
I wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've, yeah, we're gonna do a meeting. How about that? Yeah, we're gonna do that. That'll be good. I think it's gonna be good. That'll be a good meeting. That they came up with, they came up. Okay. Yes, we shall move forward. So we're in our audience of citizens now. So if anyone wants to speak, either online or here and present, in the present room here, now would be the time. Anybody? Anybody here? No? We're good? Anybody, I see no hands up online there. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and close the audience of citizens and move on to the mayor's update. So real quick, just a few things. I just wanted to mention, it's kind of out there already, but as we all know, we've been working on the residents' concerns with the company in town, Bright Feeds, and they've been working with us, with the town, not against us, to solve a couple issues. One was a noise issue. I think with the equipment that they've installed, that we may be good with that, but I still have heard a few individual concerns from some residents. So we did just get our new noise monitoring equipment in, which we'll be using shortly, and do our own little testing and see if someone complains. We could run out there and test and see what the decibel levels are. I think we've solved a lot of that. The next issue with them has been the odor from the facility. Typically down, well, it's around, the facility is by Tasker Ford there across the street in the industrial park there, and it seems to be drifting. It does sometimes emanate, or it stays in that area, but it does seem to go, depending upon the wind, it's blown over by the high school. It seems to be, people have noticed it up in Webster Heights there across the turnpike. So Deep is on it. Donna's been in touch with Deep. I'll let you fill in the Deep part, and then we'll.
Okay, I actually was on the phone with Deep at 5 o'clock this evening. They called. It's the Air Monitoring Division. And I've smelled the smell firsthand. I went out there last Thursday. Somebody was complaining about how horrific it was. And I dragged my husband and we drove down there, and Tasker Ford area in particular. And it was very nasty. We are working on this. Deep spoke with me today and said that they have visited the location at least once a month for the past several months. They are continuing to do their research, their due diligence. They are the regulatory authority. We have to wait for them before we make any other moves, and we are working on it. I know that Deep has been speaking with the owners of the facility, and the health district is also involved. I spoke with Charles Brown last Friday as well. So it's not that we're not doing anything, it's just, you can't go like that and have it done. It's a process. They are getting some additional equipment. We are meeting as a group on the 23rd of October. And everyone that's, has a stake in the game is invited to attend. It will be here. And I know that.
It'll be here at 6 o'clock on the
6 o'clock on the
23rd.
23rd.
Yes. And that's going to have our town attorney will be present, myself, Donna, and a company representative will be here as well. They may have some news about some things they're doing as well, beside what they've already done. So we're looking forward to hear that. And the one thing we do want to ask is, so it's just a meeting. However, if a quorum of council members want to go, which is fine, we would make it a special council meeting. We don't need to do that if you don't all want to attend, but if you want to attend, we can make it a special council meeting. You guys tell me, it's next Wednesday at 6 o'clock here. What are you thinking?
Yes, Mayor, let me just make a comment.
Sure.
Also, Donna, I was there last Thursday too,
Mm-hmm.
and you're 100% right.
Oh, it was terrible. Terrible.
I did send an email out to the council and also to the town manager and to Kate, and I got out of the gym. I just want to, so everybody knows, in case you didn't see the email, we got out of the gym, and as soon as I got out of Powerhouse Gym, the smell was terrible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got closer down to Brightfeeds, it got worse and worse. It was just, I mean, it's horrific. It really was. It was bad. So,
You've been on it.
Agreed. I mean,
Yeah,
Tasca
I agree.
Ford, that, because I got a nice letter from Tasca, one of the managers down there. And I called him back as well, and I figured, you know what, I'm jumping in the car and I'm driving down. And it was interesting because on one side of Tasca Ford, there was no smell whatsoever that I was picking up. And my husband's like, I don't smell anything. And I said, wait. And then I proceeded where the new facility is.
Right.
And right there, it hit you like a brick wall. It was horrible.
I was there twice within the last 7 days, last Thursday and on Monday, and it was just terrible.
So.
But,
we
yes,
are
I would
working
like
on
to
it.
be at that
Okay.
meeting.
Okay.
And just, and I've been there a couple times myself, and some days you don't smell it
Yeah.
by the facility, you smell it up across the turnpike, because that was one night I went there, one of the residents called me, I went down there, it was a Friday night, didn't smell it at all, he didn't smell it either by the facility, by Tasca. Went up the road, across the liquor store parking lot, it smelled there, and it smelled, a lot of the people are getting it in Webster Heights there. So, and there's some people by the high school that I've spoken to, and they added some filters, the company, a while ago, and the smell seems like it went away. But then lately, I've spoke to a couple residents, even over by the high school there, and they smell it now. It's very random,
It's
though.
w-
Yeah,
it's weird. It's
very
like-
strange, but
Depends on what they're cooking, how the wind is going,
That's what we're
the
thinking.
humidity
Temperature,
level,
everything.
Yeah.
everything.
seems to be a lot of
everything.
variables.
There are, but I mean, it
So-
was bad.
Oh, it was terrible.
We are taking it seriously, of course, we have been from the beginning, and we're working on it, as is the company, as is Deep. So the meeting, we can, let folks explain, and let the folks that attend ask questions, so.
Yeah, because as of right now, I would like.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
what do we need?
yeah. So I think
Special
we'll do a special meeting. So if everybody wants to come that night, that's great. If they don't,
I will not be able to attend.
Okay.
Wednesdays are my day to get my
Yeah.
daughter from school.
no, that's fine. We're good.
No, that's okay.
Sure we're gonna have a forum.
4,
Well, if we
Right.
don't,
whatever.
it's a non-meeting,
It's a non-meeting.
so it's okay. You can notice it as a meeting. There's
Yeah.
not gonna be any action taken.
No.
Notice it as a meeting. If there's not a quorum, it'll just be a non-meeting. Okay, thank you.
So that'll work out. Yep. Next Wednesday, 6 o'clock here. So hopefully we'll get, some more information and continuing to work on it. Okay. I just wanted to mention, the town manager, just for the council real quick, so we are down to some finalists, we're not talking about any names or anything. Down to finalists, and the proposal from our consultant, Randy, is, there's 3 that we would interview, and she's talking about October 28th, if that works for people, 6, 7:15, and 8:30 Zoom meeting. But 2, I believe, or October 29th at 6, 7:15, and 8:30. I think 2, though,
Did you say 28th or 29th? I'm
Well,
sorry.
but that's what, either date, whatever works for everybody. And then are two going to be here in person? Yes, two will be in person, one will be on Zoom. So either the 28th or the 29th, if those dates work for you guys. If it doesn't, we can pick another couple days. So
I can do the 29th. It's better.
29th is Tuesday, the
Me
29th.
too.
29th,
Yep.
Right now, that's
29th?
good for me.
29th, 29th?
I'm
29th.
open,
Is it a winner?
winner.
We have a winner.
Starts at 6:15, you said?
6 o'clock for the first one. 6, 7:15, and 8:30.
Are we gonna meet in the conference room?
Yes, I guess, where would we?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess we probably would, right? They're probably, yeah, like we've met in there
Yep.
before. I think we'll do it in there.
Hopefully we'll get it working
It's not
right.
something that's noticed because you're doing interviews.
Correct. It's just interviews, right, right. It's not open to the public. It's just,
Right.
interviews, so.
20.
But
It is.
we've been doing a town manager search. Lee, of course, is our interim town manager, doing a great job. But we're looking for our permanent filler for Roche. So there's some three folks here we want to look at. We did have a nice slate of candidates that applied, so see how it goes after that. So, all right, so we're good. We got
Yep.
that done. And last piece of my report would just be, as many people know, maybe not everybody, I'm sure they know, but November 5th, right, is our general election, and early voting, just, it's new for us. We did it for the primaries, but the first time in a regular election here in Connecticut, the early voting starts October 21st to the 31st, and November 1st to the 3rd. That's 14 days of early voting. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. At Town Hall, the early voting's at Town Hall downstairs, and 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on October 29th and 31st. Just a couple extra things. Friday, October 18th is the deadline for voter registration by mail to be postmarked. The deadline for voter registration at DMV by close of business, online by 11:59 p.m. and in person by 8 p.m. And there is same-day voter registration. If you're not registered but you want to vote the early voting period, you may register in person every day of early voting at the early voting location, again, which is Town Hall. And if you're not registered but want to vote on Election Day, you may register in person on Election Day at your Election Day registration site. So just, I would say, as most of you know, we are down to 3 voting locations now. That was because the state changed some things. So early voting might help us out instead of, it's a presidential election year, as we all know, and they're always pretty busy. So, might be good to take advantage of early voting, but that's certainly your choice. But we just want to make sure everybody knows, what's going on and where they could come. And that's Town Hall starting Monday, 21st.
I want
Anything
to
else?
stress too.
Yes,
We are doing
please.
absentee balloting, of course.
Yes.
So if people are away at school or whatever the case may be, and you want to do absentee balloting, please either download it, the application through the state's website or our website, and then, or come in or call the town clerk's office.
Great.
Get those going.
Okay, that sounds good. That
Mhm.
that ends my update. And thank you guys for picking a date so we can get our interviews done. And on to our meeting agenda, which is our consent agenda. We have, let's see, what do we have here? We've all looked at this before. Yeah, okay, we only have 4. So we have transfer 98,000 as detailed on the accompanying spreadsheet to be attached to the minutes to cover the budgeted transfers and identified accounts, which we've spoken about previously. We have accept monetary donations in the children's donation account for the purchase of books at the library. There's some other donations there, all related to the library. Number 3 is a donation towards a commemorative bench for Timberland Golf Course. And number 4 is the increasing the contract for Northeast Communications, Norcom, using the state contract for installation of equipment for police vehicles from $69,000 to $71,000. So we've talked about this before. And with that, we can go ahead and do a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Thank you. Second on that?
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Hearing no other comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, so moved. Okay, on to new business. So I wanted to bring the YMC here tonight. Thank you, Don and John for being here. You've been here before, but we have some new council members, although we did, pass out the presentation you did last time. We just, if there's other questions that people have that have not heard it before, and I don't know if you need it. We have reviewed it, so I don't know if you need to go through the whole thing again. I'll leave that up to you gentlemen, but, and then we're just, still in the consideration stage of our project, although we have moved forward with the first building. I think we all voted that building unfortunately was going to be too expensive for the town to do, but we have a couple other options we're looking at. Would be the Y is one of them, and still the pool, just an individual pool building, but
Thank
that
you.
price seems to be going up as well. I think we're in the $15 to $20 million range just for a building with a pool and bathrooms and showers. So, but we want to, the Y option has been offered to us. They're going to have to do their due diligence, but I just wanted to get some information out there
You get one, Mark?
tonight. No, thank you.
Okay.
I got one here, thank you.
You got one?
And we appreciate them coming in. Yes, I'm good. Everybody have one? We all good?
Should we
Okay.
save that for Charlie?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We need to,
Put it here.
Any extras, but.
okay, we'll leave them.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave them there.
Thank you.
Thanks. So anyway, John, thank you for coming and being here and
you.
go ahead.
Oh, good evening, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name's John Benigni. I'm the CEO of the Meriden, New Britain and Berlin YMCA. I'm here with Don Rittman, a resident of Berlin, and also sits on our board of directors, longstanding board of director. I know that this is very similar. I'll be honest with you. All we really did was update some of our data in this slide deck that I gave you. I made it a hard copy because I figured this way it won't get lost, so you can reference back to it, but just hitting some of the things a little bit about the Y. The Y is the largest nonprofit in the country. And our core values are caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. So I stand up here with all those values in front of you. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to serve the community, we want to be here for the community. I'm not going to read the whole thing because obviously everyone up here can certainly read it, but those are definitely core values. How Meriden, New Britain, Berlin YMCA serves our community, Y nurtures the potential of kids, promotes healthy living, and fosters a sense of social responsibility. I think I give you some stats here. I mean, we've been serving the community for 156 years in Meriden, and 166 years in New Britain. So, I mean, we've been here for the community for some time. We're not going anywhere. This is what we do. We believe in what we do. How the New Britain YMCA serves our community. Some quick stats here. We have over 11,000 members, healthy and active. We welcome over 192,000 visits to our YMCAs. Primarily those are Meriden, New Britain, because that's where we have our full service YMCAs. We employed over 928 staff members. I will touch a little bit on the staff members. So I've gone to a bunch of meetings and I say 900 and yeah, but some of those are part-time staff members. Well, I got news for you. Some of those are first-time staff members, and they might be the most difficult. We have to teach them how to check in, how to dress appropriate, how to look at the job, how to be on time, the importance of being on time. Everyone needs a starting place. Everyone needs a place for their first job, and why offer that to a host. I'm a proud father of 4 children. Brought back memories with the softball team here. My daughter played softball for years, and I got to tell you, all my children have worked at the Y, lifeguards, child watch, child care, front desk, you name it, they've worked there. I think it makes them a really well-rounded individual and understand the importance of giving back to the community. So, provided childcare, one of our biggest businesses. We're the 3rd largest YMCA in the state of Connecticut. We have about a $22 million annual operating budget. That's the association as a whole. Now, as a nonprofit works, it's $22 million in one door and out the other. You know what I mean? balance our budget to as approximately zero as we possibly can. That's the hardest number to hit. You're up, down, all, I'm talking 22 million. But balance our budget to zero. We provide childcare for 1,625 children on a daily basis. Provided over 1,000 children with summer fun at 2 camps, Mountain Mist, and 1 here, Camp Thunder Moon at McGee Middle School. Provided, yeah, flipping the page here a little bit. How we serve our communities. I think this is an important factor too. You have a choice to join the Y. There is a membership associated with the Y, but no one is turned away for inability to pay at the Y. You may have to demonstrate a need. You may have to demonstrate that to us that where you fall financially, but then we'll put you on a sliding scale. We'll make sure that you're affordable. That's why we're raising money. End of the month here, we have an event at called Endless Summer, raise money there. Night of the Stars, raising money there, all to give it back to those that otherwise couldn't afford it or demonstrate a need. So no one is turned away for inability to pay. And we provided 1.7 million in scholarships and memberships and programs annually. That's annually. And keep in mind, it's a $22 million budget. So, but still a significant dollar amount. We throw this one in every time, wherever the need might be, the Y is there to meet it. So in Meriden, New Britain, it's everyone deserves a hot meal on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So we provided over 1,000 hot meals on Christmas and Thanksgiving last year to the most needy of individuals. How the Meriden YMCA serves Berlin. I think that's an important thing. So we have little Spartans at McGee. We have little Huskies at Hubbard. They're childcare centers, infant and toddler and preschool. We do before and after school at all 3 elementary schools in town. Run a camp at McGee Middle School, Camp Thunder Moon. Taking the annual Tinsel Fun Run. Jen, her staff, collaborating with the Park and Recs. We do a Berlin Ski Club for grades 3 to 12. Berlin High School currently practices at the YMCA, Meriden YMCA pool, their swim team. The 8th grade for McGee comes out to our Mountain Mist day camp for their 8th grade outing. So, and we want to do more. I mean, we're not here because this never ends for the Y. It's always about serving the community in all 3 communities to the best of our ability. Why we keep coming back. That's why you keep seeing me. That's why we want to be here. I think this is important too. How we serve active older adults. So there's a list of programs there from Fit Senior Yoga, Silver Sneakers. I wanted to touch in particular about the Silver Sneakers. You can read about the aqua aerobics, the Tai Chi, the pickleball, stretching, brain games, things like that. But Silver Sneakers is a third-party subsidy. So our analysis that we did on it was something like 60% of the residents that are considered Silver Sneakers eligible would attend the YMCA currently in Berlin for free. Let me say that again. So 60% that would be eligible. It's a supplement to your insurance. You would attend the YMCA for free. The way it works is they pay you a per visit fee. So when you use the Y, that's how we get reimbursed. The good news and the bad news is if you don't use it, you don't get paid. It's hard to keep lights on when you don't get paid. So we want to encourage programs for seniors. I will tell you this, my mom is 75 years old and she will not go to the senior center in Meriden. Not because any other reason than she just doesn't consider herself a senior. Well, she attends the Y. And I got news for you. During the day, that's what it is. That's the population that's available. And we're here to serve that population to the best of our ability. Cardiac rehab, blood pressure programs, diabetes prevention, healthy cooking classes, lunches and learns. The Wise Men, which is basically 75 retired men that meet every Tuesday. And they actually bring in guest speakers to educate the other members about, might have been one of their friends went on a safari, so they're showing their interesting pictures on the safari, where they went. Might be on arthritis, a doctor, might be on law, right? Something to do with law, but it's educational seminars that they put on. And it's all about community. It's all about coming together and being part of something. Silver Seekers, as you can see here, how many members we have that's in here, estimated 68%, so I stand corrected. The Y offers membership discounts also for veterans. I know we touched a little bit about voting and all that stuff. So the rest is just thank you at the end. This isn't a slideshow too. We can show it again if we want to. I also gave you Meriden's brochure because when I think about what fits this community, Berlin community, it's more the size YMCA. Listen, the Y is not made up by structure in and of itself. We're offering programs currently in Berlin that we don't have a facility. But with that said, the size of the Y would be more tailored to the Meriden Y, which I know I had a team of volunteers that toured the Y in Meriden. I brought these over here a little bit. That's the exterior of the building. You could turn it a little down if you want. So on the left is the exterior of the building. I'm not guaranteeing that's what the exterior of the building looks like. There's a bunch of different ways to build buildings, a bunch of different products out there. I don't sit here today claiming that I'm a building expert because I'm not. But I will tell you I'm a YMCA expert. There needs to be 4 rooms guaranteed in this YMCA. All of them would use multiple purposes. One is your pool. I've heard the community, I think everyone up here has heard the community want a pool. So it would be competition worthy. It's not gonna be with a shallow entry. There's not gonna be a splash pad there, but it's gonna be competition worthy. It's going to be like your high school pool at Platt High School, where there's some stands for seating because it needs to be competition worthy, 6 lanes, diving blocks, that type of thing. A gymnasium. YMCA's need to have a gymnasium that's located right here. Host of different things you're doing there. We are going through right now up in New Britain to resurface our gym floor. Actually put over $300,000 into the Y up there through grants and different things, but into the gymnasium. And one of the things we're doing is getting the floor redone and restriping it. Why? Because pickleball now is very popular. The members want pickleball. So you need to have space that's adaptable and changeable. And that gym is adaptable and changeable. One day it's pickleball, next day it's basketball, next day it's volleyball, indoor soccer, etc. The other thing that you would need is a fitness center. This area right here is your fitness center. That's it. It's not a big fitness center. It's but a serviceable fitness center. We're looking for healthy members, and we only want members that want to be members. We're not there to try to get you into a membership where you're signing an annual contract. You pay as long as you want to be a member. When you don't want to be a member, it takes 30 days, you cancel your membership. But we want members that want to be members. Part of our membership does include a fitness component. And then the 4th thing, and this is subject to change, and we can evolve, we can get bigger, we can get smaller, but at least one multi-purpose space. That would be for aerobics, that would be for meetings, that would be for, you name it, children's dance, karate, different things like that would be offered in your multi-purpose space, about the size of an aerobics room. And that's located right here. We have aerobics in Meriden, and we have a multi-purpose room. The other unique room that we have in Meriden, I think would be beneficial, we call it our octagon room, but it's down here, very small. Prior to you actually entering into the Y, we call it our community room. You walk in, and prior to you getting in there, we have neighborhood association meetings and their little league signups. We host our board meetings there for the YMCA. It's basically a community room. You keep a book on it. You call us, schedule it. As long as you're part of the community, you get the room to use for the evening. So I think in closing, and then I'll turn it over to some questions, and I'm sure will be, see if Don wants to say anything too. I think in closing, I think there's a few key takeaways. One is that we were here to serve. We're not trying to stir anything up. We're trying to be part of the community. We're already part of the community. We want to play a bigger, more active role in that. And then two is no one's turned away for inability to pay. I think that's an important thing that we need to all keep in mind. And I think it will act for those that want it, will act in a community center mentality. I can't tell you it's exactly what you had on paper before. But I could tell you that in Meriden, New Britain, it's certainly where myself and my wife have made lifelong friends. Social interactions, things like that have occurred. My children are very active there. I can't say enough about the spirit of community that comes out of the YMCA on a daily basis. Don, anything you'd like to share?
Just that, my children went to the Y also, and they've been part of it. They started out as counselors, they worked their way up, it helped them in college education, getting to colleges. They part of the resume and the things that they've done. And again, as a Berlin resident, I've heard it time and time again. One of the things they want is a pool, and we're looking to do that, and not with the town money. I mean, we're looking for your endorsement. And again, quite frankly, I'll say it, we're looking at the land across the street from the high school. We're looking to put a 30,000 square foot building there with a pool and the things that John has already mentioned. And we'll raise the money and, we're looking, we'd like the town's permission and help to look at a cost analysis to go forward to see what this is going to cost. But I think that it's doable, and I think it's doable in a relatively short period of time. But, we're just looking for your help to say, yeah, this is what we want. One of the things you got to consider, and I know you've looked at, the Taj Mahal and some of the other things that you guys have seen in front of you, but those are taxpayers' dollars. They're every year. The maintenance of the Meriden pool with staffing it, chemicals, it's about $200,000 a year. And those are continuing costs, and those costs keep going up. John mentioned that we have all these employees. Well, we used to have employees for $10 an hour. We don't have any lifeguards sitting in our stand for $10 an hour. They're $16 and whatever it is per hour. So exponentially, our costs have gone up. And, if the town were to take something like this on, I think they pay the continuing expenses. And I think that's something that you got to consider. That would be all the YMCA. The other thing I wanted to say is John mentioned silver sneakers. We've talked about a different way that no senior would have to pay anything to use the YMCA. There's a way we can do that. We've talked about it, and we think we have a formula to do that. So that's one of the other things you should consider. We're here for the community. We have the Head Start program in Meriden also that we run. We also house 94 single men in our New Britain facility. I don't know what else to say other than we really want to do this, and we've been trying to do this for a number of years. We looked at the Moreland School. We came very close to making that a Y and building what we needed to build there. And COVID hit, so we weren't sure what's going to happen. As it turned out, it worked out great for the autistic children because it's a great location for them, and it's right down the street from where I live. So it looks like it's very busy and it's very, very successful. So that's good.
Turn over some questions. I'd be willing to take any questions that you may have at this time.
I have a couple.
Yes, sir.
What's the annual fee to join the Y?
A single adult is $60, I believe, a month. And a household is, I believe, 85.
Let me do the math. So $720 for individuals and a year.
85 for adults. So keep in mind, you pay monthly because there's no difference with paying up front. You're a member as long as you want to be a member.
You were talking about a 30,000 square foot building.
Yep.
Uh,
Approximately.
yeah, the estimates we got should be run around 30 million. Is that what you're planning?
No, our plan would be the thing that Don mentioned. We would need to do a cost analysis to see what it costs.
So you don't know what it costs?
No, I mean, construction costs has ballooned in the last 3 years. It's a variable cost. And it depends on what building products you're using, what type of building you're gonna construct there, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we haven't even secured the land, if you know what I mean, to be able to do this. So it's hard to get hard costs at that point.
What? So you'll have to go out and raise all the money.
You have to raise the money. Yep.
Now, do you envision selling either New Britain or Meriden?
No,
So how will you raise the money?
you raise the money through the state. I would hope that the town would also potentially kick in some money too. Benefactors throughout the community.
We'd have some fundraisers.
And we'd have some fundraisers and different things like that.
Anywhere near $30 million.
Well, that's the estimates we got per square foot.
Taj Mahal. We're not building the Taj Mahal. I think we're gonna do a scaled down version. You know, a 25,000, 30,000 square foot building.
I didn't-
We're gonna make it look nice, but I think, you know, if you take up Steel Butler building, you make that.
On the mic, Don, just go on the mic, Don. No, that's all
You
right.
take a Steel Butler building and you build that, you put a nice facade on it, it isn't gonna be $30 million. You know, then whatever it costs to build a nice gymnasium and a nice pool, but the expense of the Steel Butler building on a slab, you know, you got the parking and the site development, but again, those are things we gotta look at, but some of the people that I've talked to, they're not even half of that, so I think it can be done on a scaled down version, make it very nice, but not $30 million.
But you don't have a hard figure.
No, I don't. I don't even have the land, so we get that, we'll do the cost analysis and we can talk about it.
So just to run off,
Yeah.
Peter's question. So let's say, you're saying, 30 million, not expecting that, but let's just say you do your cost analysis and it comes out to say $30 million. Is there a price where it's gonna be too much for you to, where you will say, you know what? It's not cost effective, we're gonna walk away, or would you just look at it to say, just means we need to raise more money?
I think that's hard to say. I mean, I respect the question. Let me start there. I totally respect the question, but I don't know if there's a hard number without knowing what the landing spot would be, if you know what I mean.
Yes, Don.
Question. Can you tell me roughly what percentage of your business is childcare? Because
75% of our business is child.
it is childcare. So that's really where your meat and potatoes are in terms of
Absolutely.
where your money's coming in from.
Absolutely.
And how much of that space are you going to dedicate to that?
None of the space is currently dedicated to that. The 4 rooms the 4 locations I outlined,
Mm-hmm.
gymnasium, pool, multi-purpose, and fitness center would not be part of that. It would be part of a membership to that facility. So no, there is.
So you're not going to run any daycare out of
We
this?
currently run, no, not at that facility. We currently have daycare in McGee Middle School and
Oh, where?
And Hubbard.
Hubbard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so in other words, then, I know the YO offers certain programs and everything, but if Berlin came to you and says, hey, we want to incorporate this, this, and this, and, for our policies or our procedures, you would be adaptable to that, right?
Yeah, within
Within reason.
financial reason
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah, I mean,
okay,
yeah, I don't want a pool that wouldn't serve the community. You know, I know that the importance of having the ability to have the swim team swim there, for instance, Berlin swim team. So I wouldn't want a pool that wouldn't be able to house that, things like that. We would definitely take into consideration, but
so a lot of that would be all be ironed out prior to,
yes, absolutely.
after the cost analysis and, saying, hey, these are our needs, this is what we want, or
Mhm.
whatever. Okay, thank you.
Certainly we share that with you.
Well, the other thing is our Meriden pool now, even though we use it for.
You'd
swim
rather be
practice,
on mic.
Sorry. Even though we use the Meriden pool for swimming and swim team practice and things, we, during the day, if you come there, we have like, yeah, we have the aerobics for the people that are my age and older. So there's always a bunch of people in there. I mean, it's 6 or 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, so they're there. So it's used by the community.
Okay, thank you.
One other question, this building, what will it do for our seniors?
Like I said to you before, I mean, the membership to the YMCA, and the only way that we accomplish this is to serve all, including the seniors. I can tell you that during the day hours, primarily, it's senior programming because they're the ones that are available. So when you build a 30,000 square foot building, you need to maximize that space. And to someone's point here, it brought up childcare. Yes, 75% of our business is childcare. We're going to build a YMCA that doesn't have childcare. We're going to make sure that we have the membership to support that. One of the key components of that membership be your senior population. So we need to cater to that senior population to assure that they want to attend, capitalizing on the reimbursement from that Silver Sneakers subsidized program.
You mentioned, no one will be turned away. How does that work?
Coming with their financial, where they stand financially, and we either figure out a way to give them a discount on their membership to assure that they can attend.
But you don't waive the fee.
Sometimes depends on their situation. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even looked at financials. There's some situations where they had a fire in their home. I mean, free childcare, free daycare, free camp, free membership, whatever they need in those situations. But when you come in and you're looking for a discount, we do ask you for some documentation on where you stand financially to assure that the money that that we raise, we're being good stewards with, and then enter into an agreement with those individuals moving forward.
Thank you.
Welcome.
If you were going to get an endorsement tonight, not the name, but like if you were to get it tonight, in your mind, I know a lot of this is very hard you don't have the land and, in your mind, what would be your goal for a timeline for start to finish completion?
I'm not really prepared to even say that either tonight. I don't want to go on the record.
I get it.
Give you a clear time. I could tell you that I would tell you your feasibility study, probably playing off of some of the feasibility studies that you guys have already done
Mhm.
in cost analysis, playing off of that. I would say that's a good 3 to 6 months, just that alone.
Okay.
So to give you some time frame.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry,
No.
one quick question. So I know you have the annual membership, the classes, that's separate or inclusive or in addition?
So your aerobics classes are all included in your membership, spinning, aqua aerobics, all those are included in your membership. Children's dance would be an additional fee. Indoor soccer would be an additional fee. Flag football in the field or in a gym would be additional fee. Yeah, and it's listed in the brochure here too, the fees and different structure. Gymnastics would be an additional fee. Children's dance, I mean, there's a host of programs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a CrossFit program too in there.
Any other questions?
So to pick up on Kate there, so is there a way to get you started at least on the feasibility? Obviously, we understand till you get to the end of that, you wouldn't really know if it's feasible. I mean, you're pretty sure it is. And I think what we have discussed is that piece of property would be the piece of property that we've identified, whether it was for our building or a Y or a partnership with you, whatever, that would be the property. But until, you guys obviously have to be convinced you're going to do it, and you got to do your due diligence like any developer does.
Yeah, I mean, I have a board of directors of 15. I'm here with 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This would
Yeah.
have to be approved by my board too.
Sure.
They know we're here. They know that we want to do more in Berlin, but it has to make financial
Of course.
sense for all parties. The last thing anyone wants, including myself, is to jeopardize what we already have. But in the process, we want to try to do more. And if we can accomplish that then yes, Mark, we certainly would attempt that. I need your blessing on moving forward as a
Yeah.
council, maybe, things like that. Is it that piece of property? You know, that type of thing.
And what you mentioned, and I'll just ask Jeff, our attorney, and, you know, the council, of course, if no one objects, that we would be able to share work product on the buildings that we've looked at. Just to familiarization with the site, and, you know, obviously, we've done a lot of work up on the needs of the community too, with the why, to allow them to build whatever strategy they're doing, and it's obviously probably gonna be the same as ours, but similar. Is that okay to share that with them?
Could you be more specific about what the work product is?
The building plan, maybe the size of the smaller building that we came up with, just so they kind of have an idea of a footprint we were looking at, you know, things like that. I don't,
You're talking about public records?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's what's been in the public, right, or the study there too. Yeah.
This is the current study that
we Yeah. have. Right.
I think we want to make sure that the land can support any kind of building. I
Yes,
think that's the important part.
yes,
And if we can look at that, and they've already determined that,
yes.
that would save a lot of money on our.
Some generalizations.
Sure, that's
It's
fine.
As long as it's public
Yeah, yeah,
record, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all been in the public.
Yeah, that's
So if
fine.
we can find
Yeah.
out if it will
Yeah.
support that and
Sure.
what, you know, and I know, I hate to say this out loud, but I know there's some wet land way in the back.
Back,
And
correct.
again, I think
Correct.
some of the thing would be, we'd also provide, if we are able to, and we get approved, we would able to do some fields out there too, for practice fields and things like that.
Yeah.
And I know that fields are always a priority. So, you know, I think we're looking at everything, but if we can get get the rough idea of if it can support that building,
Mhm.
and that's a good start, well, then we can put it out to some of the people that we've already talked to,
Yeah.
say, hey, we'll do a cost analysis of this. What's it gonna cost to put up a Steelville Butler building? What's it gonna cost for a nice gym? What's it gonna cost for a pool that has some seating ability? And what if we throw in a track around the gym like we have in, I know he doesn't want to hear this,
Meredith.
it's money out, but again,
Meredith.
what if we put a gym, we have a walking thing around the gym in Meriden, that adds a little bit more money, but if, you know, it's something to look at. So those are the kind of things that we're looking for an endorsement from you.
I'm not opposed to anything. I'm not opposed to the original plan, quite frankly. I'm opposed to nothing. That's what I'm opposed to. And I'm fearful that it'll be nothing. And I think the why represents so much more than nothing. I can't promise you that it's gonna fill every basket that you ever wanted, but I can assure you that it will touch every demographic in this community, from seniors all the way down to infants taking their first swim lesson in that pool.
And just for the record, we, if the Y were to build this facility and we, you know, made a deal with the property for them, the senior center is not going away. We're not looking to close the senior center. The senior center would remain, no matter what we do. If the Y comes in, they would stay, as well as our community center. If we think we needed it, we keep it. I mean, we have that space already. It's town property. It's not going anywhere. So just folks, you know, I've heard stuff out on social media, oh, they're gonna close the senior center and the Y is gonna open. No, that's not the plan at all. If we did a town building, different story. Do the Y, they're gonna supplement what we already have in the senior center and our community center.
So the
But it'd be their building, you know, obviously, and serving our community. Like Plainville does, quite frankly. Plainville is good, Southington does the same thing. Other towns do the same thing, but anyway,
I'm sure you're legal, you know, there's a lot of steps from here
sure.
to the finish line, but for legal counsel, I mean, the way that it works at Meriden is we have a 99-year lease on the land,
The land.
$1 a year type of situation.
Sure, not problem.
I'm not a lawyer either, but I'm sure that's the way that you could work something like that. We would need that because that gives us then leverage to potentially borrow money and different things like that. So that would definitely be a necessity. But there's a lot of steps and a lot of different moves here. But I think for starters, like I just want to leave with the fact that we're here to serve the community again, and I cannot emphasize this enough that I truly think this is a starting point. It may not be the end point. And if the community responds, when I first started 15 years ago at the Meriden Y CEO, we had a $2.3 million budget. We now are the third largest YMCA in the state of Connecticut with a $22 million budget. If the community, we only do programs and services if the community is responding to them. Otherwise, there's no reason for us to run those programs. There's no inside game here. There's no behind the scenes thing. It is to serve the community. And if the community has responded and we needed to redo our gym floor to add pickleball, guess what? We redo our gym floor to add pickleball. And that's what we're here. We're here to serve that community. So I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you for the time again. And I look forward to seeing you all soon, and we'll see where we.
Yeah, well, so while we're all here, might as well, we're wasting time every minute we waste to do something. So are we okay with letting them proceed to at least look at an initial feasibility study with allowing the public record, make sure they have all the public record that we have looked at to help them look at this feasibility? No, there's no commitment from them. There's no commitment from us.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
As long as there's no commitment.
There's no commitment. I'll say it again.
Yeah.
And that's
Obviously.
reasonable.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah.
That seems pretty reasonable.
Absolutely.
So we could at least look at this option that we've talked about. We've never pursued it, but at least you guys can look at it closer too and see what we've done, up to this point, why.
Sure, we're talking about the land across from the high school.
Yes, that would be the location. That's the location, the committee identified a long time ago. That's where, whether we built our building or you build your building, that would be the location we thought was the most centrally located for everything. And then, conveniently for the high school swim team too. It's right across the street, obviously. And it's a fairly large piece of property. So does that make sense? You'll do what you can do, and whatever, then you could bring something back and we can figure it out. I mean, I think we've already voted unanimously to not look at the building that was it 20, would it go down to 25,000 square feet? No, would it go 50,000? We all voted that was too much money, correct? Because we're talking $40–50 million of taxpayer money. We had that vote here already. So that's out of the picture. That's one option we had, that's gone. The other option we talked about, we can explore, we'll explore a little bit on our own as well while you explore that, would be just to build a pool with a locker room and showers. That, talking to public building, rough estimates, that's probably going to be $15–20 million as well. So that's just, what's that? Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, but they're going to give us more than, a pool, but if it all comes to pass. But we gotta get something going, folks, and, if we haven't got that far with your option. So,
Appreciate the opportunity.
yeah.
Thank you.
and we'll get whatever public records we can get to you, we'll get them to you. Yeah, and then we'll figure that out and come back to us hopefully in the new year. See what you come up with and how it all works. All right?
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Appreciate it.
for your
Thank you,
time.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. On to number 2.
Item 2. Update on the feasibility study of the Moore Dinda Bittner Jr. Memorial Pool Complex.
Yes. Yes, indeed. We, guest speakers, yes, here they are. Welcome.
Pools to splash pads.
I'm gonna use the microphone so I don't get yelled at by Kate, and I'm number 2, so this is even worse. I know you guys have been waiting for the feasibility study for quite some time. Luke was kind enough to come in person, give us an update of exactly where we are. So I will turn it over to Luke from Kate.
Good evening. Luke
How are you?
McCoy, landscape architect, principal with Castle Booths.
Oh, nice.
Here tonight to give an update on the progress where we're at, a little bit of feedback on some of the conceptual with it, and then next steps for next month, which would be wrapping up the overall study. So start with, you can see kind of first page, just an outline of the pieces of it that we looked at. And I'll start with the tennis courts, which are page 4. General summary of the tennis courts is their end of their lifespan. They have cracking, they have separation, looks like some structural movement. Basically, in our opinion, any money spent to try and repair those would just be throwing money at them. The repairs would last maybe a year or two, and then you'd be investing more money. They're really at the point
These are
of,
the East Berlin ones we're obviously talking about.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. So-
Please don't tell me it's the ones at the high school. No,
No.
I know it's not them, but I'm just,
No,
I'm looking
no.
at like, no.
It's at the
Yeah.
Memorial.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I just had to say that. Sorry. We need to laugh a little bit tonight. you know.
Yes. So you flip the next page.
Yes.
We're showing, based on conversations, is the potential of converting those to pickleball, which is a big need in town. They do allow for pickleball courts to fit nicely within, potentially even reduce the size a little bit to save overall money. Fencing. One of the things that we are looking at also that those don't have is providing accessible access to them, as it is a public facility. It really should have it right now. There's really no access. It's through the lawn to get to it. So as part of it. So that's the first piece of it, is an update on the tennis courts and that proposed.
Is that public access is that just because of we don't have a path to it, or is there?
Correct. There's no path.
I got you.
The parking lot adjacent slopes down.
Yes.
And then there's 2 gate openings, but
Gotcha.
walking through the lawn.
Gotcha.
So we would want to provide that as part of it.
Sure. Makes sense.
The next part, the pool house and the pool itself. So a little bit update first on the pool house. We've been through that with our in-house architectural team, looked at that overall building. And I've broken it down by just a couple of different ways that we look at a building. First is accessibility, leading up to the building. The asphalt or the concrete walkway has some heaving, some issues that don't meet. Door thresholds have shifted, so they're above the threshold for ADA accessibility within the building, just because of the age of it. Things such as sink heights, space within stalls for movability, counter heights, all of those currently don't meet current accessibility code. Page 8, talk a little bit about general building code, that if you were to touch the building in any way, we'd have to bring them up to current codes. So there's another thing there, again, means of egress. We also want to take a further look if there are going to be renovations with structurally. We've noticed that there's some movement of the masonry inside. You can see there's a small picture there where a column, the upper half is a couple inches off, which is a major concern. And then other kind of cosmetic, but also lead to larger problems. Fascia, the shingles have lost their initial membrane on the top, so the roof looks like it's due for replacement, those kind of things as well, if that building were to be renovated. Pool, so a little bit update, which I know everybody's interested in the pool. And I know that Steve and Jen have come before with a little bit of the challenges we've had. We had an initial pool consultant on, they were working on another project. They were not servicing us all. So we have moved to a second consultant who started their analysis. Then we had their project manager left, had a lull with them. They now have a project manager on. He's fully up to speed on everything that was done before. He's been out once. He's scheduled for a second assessment next week to relook at the equipment. And then we'll be able to have us the updated report and costing for that. Because I know that we're looking to come back in November with the full report. So that's been on us. We've taken that on. Unfortunately, they're an outside consultant. There are not many of them that do municipal type pools. It's not a residential. So there's been some challenges with that there. We know just some things outside are ready. Is the pavement that's around it does have accessibility issues with the way that it's heaved. And things like handrails and all that, but we'll have more information for the next update on the exact pump equipment, that kind of stuff. So that's on our, we've straightened that out with them and they are moving forward now with that piece of it. And then we have kind of the new piece, I'll say, which is the potential of adding, which is kind of the park and playscape atmosphere there. Really, there isn't much of this there. So our initial assessment was looking at the swings, which again, similar to they lack accessibility. They're older, which is on page 11. But if you flip to 12, which is a little bit more of what I wanted to present, that's looking at some of that idea of a concept of making this more of a full park. The addition of playscape structures, which would be age appropriate in the lawn area between the tennis courts and the pool, or in this instance, if the pool were found that it's just not feasible to renovate or keep, and converting that potentially to a splash pad. And that's what that concept is showing.
A bright light. There it is, right there. It's like a bright light right on that.
So,
Splash pad, look at that. How about that?
so, again, the final report, I have that option of playscape and pool as being renovated and maintained, or playscape and if it's converted to splash pad with costing for both options for your review. For that, so.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so then again, kind of mentioned through, but our next steps are complete that pool piece. All the rest of the assessments been done with the conceptual. Put all of the costing of all these pieces, if what you've kind of seen for conceptual, if tennis courts and the other is in line with the pool costs, all that, and then come back to you with that full report.
So
Appreciate
when's the
that.
final report going to be ready?
We are looking at,
So everything will be all summed up with pricing and everything by November 12th. It just seemed like it's taken, I know you mentioned there's some problems with the pool guy, but this is what you would call. What's that?
Whoa, we don't know. Yep.
I think you said that. Well, we've had some.
Stopped.
Right again.
Like
There we
magic.
go.
Ah,
So then, so in other words,
Mark.
we first talked about this back in April, like, it just seems like it's taken an awful long time to get all this completed.
Yeah, it has taken longer than we anticipated for sure. And part of that unfortunately has been that the consultant and getting them on, starting with one, not servicing. We went through this on another project that they were originally on, that they're not on with us any longer either. And then the change of staffing within the second was honestly, it's been a nightmare for us, but we finally got it ironed out. They've been out, as I said, they're up to speed and they have promised that they will get it complete.
This has been going on for a while. A lot of the residents, they talk about the East Berlin Pool and what, the facility and, what we have allocated for money and everything else there. And then, we're going into November, we don't have a full report yet.
No, I fully understand, and it's our goal to get that to you and recognize the time of year and that you want that in front of you. What we didn't want to do from our perspective was put numbers or put a report together without having that consultant that is the expert on it weigh in on it, because we felt that that wouldn't be a service to you.
You mentioned that the tennis courts are in disrepair, I guess. Now, for pickle courts, would you build new courts or use the existing courts? I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, so we would demolish the existing, at a minimum, mill the existing asphalt and then repave. Or our intent is also to put in the estimate for if you were to go post-tension versus the asphalt. We know that you've done that at the high school. There's a lot of benefit to that. It would be one or the other, but that asphalt would not be able to be reused in any way. It would have to be either milled and repaved over the top, or milled and stripped out and repaved if you stay with that.
And it's smaller?
We can shrink it slightly because of the size of pickleball. If you wanted to go to more, then we'd expand the footprint, which is really not theirs. Yeah, you can save a little money by shrinking the footprint slightly.
Thank you.
any other questions or questions? Good. Yeah, we appreciate that report and we look forward to the final one and then we can
Completed one.
Yes.
figure out what to do. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
see you next month.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Oh, Woody. Hey, Woody, come up to the mic for a minute. Oh, you couldn't get away that easy. You know that. Yeah, not,
Escaping.
no, you're not escaping. No, I wanted to thank you. I know we all do, Donna, and I have worked on the issue on Spruce Brook Road and it looks great. I went by it, I saw the pictures too, and thank you for finally getting that done. That was the trailhead that people were parking onto the gentleman's property, and yeah, it's all kind of like blocked off. It looks nice, and you solved the problem that I think we needed to solve. The town needed to solve that problem.
Yeah, it was nice. The
Yeah.
crew did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Dunning Stone out of Farmington as well.
Yeah,
being able to deliver all the rocks in one day to us for like $135.
yeah,
I mean, we went there to try to pick them up and it just really didn't work. So that really expedited everything.
appreciate
They
that.
showed up. I've spoken to Cody a couple of times. He seems to be happy.
He is.
You see that you guys have noticed that we moved the trail a little bit, so it's not cutting through his backyard. We've had no complaints from anybody. We know that one of the neighbors complained. I think Mike Ahern dealt with her, and I think we're in a positive direction with that. I guess why I'm up here is I know you guys have seen some things on Facebook regarding Little People's Playground. Currently, the fence went up last week. The equipment was delivered last week. They are going to start installing the equipment tomorrow. The
Oh,
wood
nice.
fiber should start coming in tomorrow, right around
Great.
10:30.
Nice.
All said and done. They're looking to mill it on the 21st, pave it on the 29th. So by the middle of November, we should be all set. We're probably a couple weeks behind because just like everything else, our contractor got waylaid, came in a couple weeks later, but we are hopeful November 15th to open it up for the year.
That's great.
Doing a great
Yeah,
job. You really.
nice job.
Paper Goods, by the way, looks awesome.
Yeah, that too. No
Very
issues
nice.
there this
Very
year.
nice.
We've had a great year,
Lots of
Yeah.
happy people. Thank you very much.
Let's keep it going.
95% of the time.
Yeah. Oh, the playscape? Uh, yeah, so goes social media. Nobody gets it right, but that's okay.
Well,
okay.
thank you, and I'll
Nice
pass the.
job.
Thank you. Yeah, pass it along to the crew and everybody. You guys did a great job, Jen, and all you guys, Park and Rec, it's all
Thank you.
working great. Yeah.
Have a great night.
All right,
You
thanks.
too. Thank you.
Thanks, Woody. Appreciate it.
Report is my meeting.
What's that?
That was the only thing I was gonna report my.
I stole that from you. I wanted to do it while he's here. I didn't know you had it on your report.
No.
Okay,
Right.
number
Item
3.
A, approve the purchase of a Toro Greens mower using the State of Connecticut Department of Administrative Services contract number 129829 from Turf Products Company for an amount not to exceed $67,000 for the golf course.
This seems pretty mundane to what we just have been talking about the rest of the meeting, but that's okay. It's all right. We got to get through with this too. I know. What the heck is all this stuff? That's it. There we go. There we go. So what do we have on this? Any questions, concerns?
No.
This is the one we've been talking about this for a while. Yeah. Okay.
Next one too.
So let's take a motion.
Motion to move to approve the purchase of a Toro Greens mower using the State of Connecticut Department. Sorry, of Administrative Services contract number 129829 from Turf Products Company for an amount not to exceed $67,000.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you so much. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Item 4, to approve the purchase of a Ventrac mower using the State of Connecticut Department of Administrative Services contract number 031121-TTC from Turf Products Company for an amount not to exceed $70,000.
Okay. I believe we've, right, spoken about this too?
Mhm.
Yes, we have. So any comments, questions,
No.
concerns? Nothing?
No.
Okay, that's good. Let's go.
Lucky day.
Move to
Like,
approve.
yeah,
the
Quiet.
purchase-
Let's do it.
Move to approve the purchase of a Ventrac mower using the State of Connecticut Department of Administrative Services contract number 031121-TTC from Turf Products Company for an amount not to exceed $70,000.
Take your second.
Second.
Thank you. Hearing no other comments or questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, so moved.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you.
all. See ya.
Okay, item 5, to authorize the town manager to seek approval from the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Commissioner for a proposed extension of Wilkes Pond Road across a portion of Sage Park land. Also, refer the matter of extending Wilkes Park Road, including use of a portion of Sage Park, to the Planning and Zoning Commission for review, subject to approval, State of Connecticut Energy and Environmental Protection.
Okay. This is,
5.
yeah, what is it? So have we,
Maureen.
Maureen?
Uh-oh.
Hi, Maureen. How are you?
Hey, everyone. It won't be as easy as the last two. I have a list,
Oh, come on, Maureen.
but not as
No, that's-
long as the explanations for the others.
It's all good.
And please excuse my voice. It's crackling in and out today. So the Planning and Zoning Commission received an application for a subdivision approval of 170 Wilkes Pond Road and out to Somerset Drive. It proposes to extend Wilkes Pond Road over a corner of Sage Park and into the existing parcel that will then be divided into 5 lots, single-family lots, and a cul-de-sac. You all should have the map in front of you. The lot to be divided currently has a circa 1924 house on it, single-family dwelling with a driveway that extends off of Wilkes Pond Road at its intersection with the unimproved east end of Jarvis Street,
I do it.
or Jarvis Lane, rather. It's right of way, that's unimproved there. I found a fun fact today that Jarvis Lane was partially changed to Wilkes Pond Road back when Wilkes Pond Road was developed. That's just a new aside I got today. As the survey and subdivision map shows, the lot does not have any frontage and its driveway cuts across the south end of Sage Park. And this condition has existed for many decades. The applicant proposes to use the area of Sage Park that currently includes the driveway access, which is 6,263 square feet or 0.14 acres, to make road improvements, make the connection for further extension of Wilkes Pond Road into their parcel for subdivision. In consultation with Corporation Counsel, Attorney D'Onofrio, we've reviewed the history relating to Sage Park and determined that obtaining Sage Park land included an open space grant agreement with Connecticut DEP that specifies how the park's land can be used. In order for the applicant to use the proposed land that is part of the park to improve the proposed road, which will eventually be dedicated back to the town, an equal swap for a portion of their land for the park area is required. There is a provision in that, in the open space agreements that allows for the proposed swap with written approval of the deep commissioner. I have prepared this request for authorization for our interim town manager to make the related request to the deep commissioner. And if that motion passes, to then the extension would require the use of the town land for road improvements, which would then be required to have an 824. So I thought I'd roll them into one meeting night instead of 2 separate ones if we get the approval from the deep commissioner, and refer that back to the Planning and Zoning Commission. On the highlighted map, that 6,363 square foot area is highlighted in yellow, and then it's called out higher up, as a separate call out.
We don't have yellow. So can you just, is it this up here?
Is that the yellow up there?
Is this over here? That's what I thought.
The shaded area?
So
Yeah. Okay.
this is the area we're talking about.
Sorry, the yellow highlight didn't copy well.
Oh, that's all right.
No.
No, we got it. Yeah.
Maureen, you mentioned Jarvis Lane.
Yes.
Where is that?
It comes up map straight up the top.
Okay, you're upside down, but north is that way, right?
North is this way.
Towards New Britain. Yeah.
There.
Okay, so Jarvis Lane goes to Wilkes,
Jarvis Lane goes out to the Berlin Turnpike.
right? And then where's it end? Wilkes?
Yes,
Okay.
right there at the basically at the intersection with this lot, except the lot doesn't actually have frontage out to Jarvis or Wilkes Pond. The lot has a driveway that crosses the parkland.
So there's no access to, so this parcel of land here doesn't have any access?
So I thought.
The parcel with the house. That map. Have a bigger map, no better.
I mean, any problem with it?
Please grab it. Let's see if this map shows it. It does. I had a bigger map in my hand and I must have put it down on my desk. I do have small maps.
Yeah.
Put it up to take. So this map here shows Sage Park. I don't know if everybody can see it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for the size.
No, that's all right.
This
it.
parcel here is the parcel to be divided. And the house is over here, and its driveway comes across this corner of Sage Park.
So who currently who's put the request in to sell this property?
So this is a subdivision application of Kokomo Brothers. The parcel is owned by Louchy's, Curran, and Thompson are the last names on that.
So the parcel is owned by 3 individuals?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any access to this map that you just gave me? So is this a landlocked piece of property?
No, it comes out, well, no, it's not. It comes out onto Somerset Drive as well. There was a map years ago, and it's not this map either, but this is the parcel map you have. Doesn't have yellow on it.
Okay.
And there is a strip that comes down here out to Somerset Drive.
So this is where they can access in and out of there.
This,
Is that an easement or who owns that?
that is owned by the same.
Same
down-
person, okay.
Down to Somerset Drive, it's a right of way, a wide enough for access. The, this land area was proposed to be swapped from this lot to this lot a number of years ago. There was a filed map. The instrument was never filed to finalize it. So this lot is, I think, subject to some controversy and litigation, but all the owners have agreed to the subdivision, and that's what is coming to fruition with the
A 5-piece subdivision?
it will
Including this
result in
piece
5
here.
lots. Yes, including that, this will be 1 lot. And then 2, 3, 4. And open space to be dedicated to the town.
And
Because
the
as
open
the
spa-
subdivision requires,
Okay.
and a dedication of open space or fee in lieu of open space. They're proposing a dedication of open space. There was a map at one point, I believe it's from 1965,
Good old days.
1992, that shows the potential for a road coming out to Somerset Drive to access and subdivide. That now did not come to fruition, that was happening. It severed this lot 46, but it was part of lot 46. It was never divided off. It just was it appears to have been a concept plan that was filed.
The intention that lot 5 is gonna have access through the Wilkes Pond Road extension?
No, the lot down here will come off Somerset. This will be a road, is the proposed road.
Do you know how far it is from the ball field?
I believe the ball fields are up. This is a like
Right,
a steep float
Yeah.
slope, and I believe the ball field is right up above it.
right.
So with the open space, we'll create a little more of a area to it, but at the same time, we haven't gotten into what that land may be improved with, whether it'll be planted or whether it's stay, as is, and what that condition is.
What is this area? This is R43 zoned?
I believe so.
And what's that require for frontage, 150 feet?
Believe so. The top of my head, it's been a while. I was zoning
And is it
officer now,
meeting,
he does that.
and is it meeting all of that, those
Each of the
requirements?
lots will do an analysis when they get to subdivision. I paused the subdivision application until we get through but we did begin to look at this application a year ago when we found the Sage Park hurdle as well as the ownership hurdle, and therefore didn't continue the zoning analysis beyond each hurdle at a time. And really the use of town parkland to do this is fundamental.
So you really need that corner space in order to extend that Wilkes Pond Road.
The applicant's proposal needs that corner of space to extend the road.
And how much is that exactly again?
6,263 square feet or 0.14 acres, if I did the math right earlier. Point 14.
And they're giving us how much on the other end of this?
They would have to compensate like for like. They'd have to
So at
compensate,
6,263
Yes.
square feet.
and then would also either have to dedicate open space or fee in lieu of open space for the subdivision itself. I don't think their math works right now.
I was just gonna
We'd
say, I
get
don't
a
know.
need to get a little more open space or fee in lieu of, or any portion that they don't supply. They have a lot of land area. Lot 4 is oversized, so there's a good chance that that could be potential. One of the things that prompted the thought of the swap to start with when we were first approached was that their lot has this kind of funny angle that comes into Sage Park. And the idea was to straighten that angle out.
Hmm.
And they thought, to straighten out what sticks into the park.
Are
Take,
there any wetlands involved in any of this?
possibly, but I
There's the ones
really
over there.
think so.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Again, I left the whole package and I folded it up with the right page facing out and didn't pick it up in the.
All right, what else? What are the motions here? 2 motions. What do you think, folks? Got to go through some more review anyway, right? We don't even know, right? Deep obviously has to sign off on it, right? Like you said.
So as part of the
Yeah.
The deep procedures,
Yeah.
there is that caveat that the deep commissioner
Hmm.
can be approached and asked
Hmm.
asked if the swap for land that was used with the open space grant can be swapped.
And if it doesn't get approved, then he doesn't do the development. Is that correct? Or is there other options that they can do?
I would think we've seen the map that has the concept of a road coming off Somerset Drive.
Okay.
My recollection when Helen was planner was that was something that was talked about with, I don't know what developer at the time or the landowners.
Yeah, that's right. That was way back when, yeah.
I
Yeah,
was thinking that
yeah.
Mayor Mark may recall.
Yeah, I do remember that lot now, that whole thing, yeah. Didn't work out then and
The
trying a different way, I guess. It wasn't this developer, it was somebody else. I don't remember who it was. Well, what do you want to do? Want to send it to deep and see what happens? It may never happen.
Very big piece of.
No,
No.
no.
Nope.
Send it to deep.
Why not?
All right, you good?
Okay.
Send it to deep. So we'll get 2 motions there, Donna, if you want to.
First motion is I move to authorize the town manager to seek approval from the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Commissioner for a proposed extension of Wilkes Pond Road across a portion of Sage Park land.
Thank you. Second.
Second?
Thanks. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. Number 2.
And number 2, I'll move to refer the matter of extending Wilkes Pond Road, including use of a portion of Sage Park, to the Planning and Zoning Commission for review, subject to approval from State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
And any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Maureen. Appreciate it.
Item 6, refer the acquisition map 25-4, block 74, lot 49, 0 Chamberlain Highway for open space use to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a report pursuant to section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes, and to the Conservation Commission for a report to authorize the acceptance of a donation from the Berlin Land Trust in the amount of $20,000 to assist in the acquisition of the parcel. Such donation would be made on a matching basis with the town for due diligence costs up to the maximum amount of $7,000, with the balance donated at the closing of the purchase of the property, and appropriate the donation to the Fontanella Property account in the Land Acquisition and Development Fund, and to authorize the town manager to apply for a grant of $65,000 from the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection's Open Space and Watershed and Acquisition Program. We have Jim here to answer any questions.
Questions?
Oh, we had one, didn't we?
We did have some question, maybe. We did talk about it
Mhm.
before, yes.
So I guess one of the questions I have is that, maybe I'm just not understanding on the way it's written, but Berlin Land Trust pledges to contribute 20,000 towards the purchase price and may use up to 7,000 for due diligence costs. So that means we have to use the 7,000, whether it's for surveying, legal fees, or whatever, then their contribution towards the land becomes 13,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It's how.
Yeah, the benefit, the benefit of structuring it this way is, again, we're gonna be applying for the grant. For example, if we don't get the grant, or for some reason we don't acquire the property, the Berlin Land Trust is offering us the $7,000 to help toward the due diligence. So the town doesn't have to be out of pocket for that amount earlier on in the process in the event that it never closes. So rather than just giving us the 20,000 at the closing, only if it closes. So it's a more favorable. And if you remember at the previous meeting, the town, we had 7,000 in the open space account that we're using toward due diligence. And we're going to need more than that to get through the due diligence. So the 7,000 from the Berlin Land Trust is going to be helpful.
I know you don't know the exact number, but what are you anticipating a cost to be for due diligence for this?
Yeah, we've got the 2 appraisals, title search and survey. And so the appraisals are going to cost, I would say, 8,300. It's an appraisal and appraisal review, and title search Jeff is arranging, and at the survey we haven't gotten prices yet for, but it's going to be, it's probably going to be such that we'll use all the 7,000 from the Berlin Land Trust, and once we get costs, I may come back for some additional amount for the survey. But we don't have to do the survey to do the application, so that can be later after they award the grant. So we don't have to do that until we know we're going to get the grant. So we're going to get through the first piece to get to the application for our 7,000 and portion of their 7,000, and then we'll go from there.
Also phase 1 environmental, right, Jim?
Right, in which we also don't
We're
have to
not gonna do
do
it until we get the grant. Yep.
until we hear that we're gonna get the grant. Which that would be probably around $2,500.
When's this grant due?
December 2nd.
The land trust approach us with this change, or we approach the land trust with the change? Just curious.
I approached the land trust because again, I thought we're gonna need more money for due diligence. They already offered the 20,000. Would they be willing to put some of that up front? And Dennis Kern, said they were flexible to let us use it, for this purpose.
That's contingent that if this goes through, we sign this over to the land trust, correct? It wouldn't
No,
be-
the town would own the property
Town would.
and And the land trust would get a conservation easement.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll have a conservation easement also with the state as a condition of the grant if we get the grant. So, and obviously if we don't get the grant, we're probably not going to buy this property. So, but that's all in the future.
They're making decisions by what, January?
Yeah, I'd have to look at the schedule again. It usually,
Okay.
no, it takes a while. I mean,
Is it?
to tell you the truth, I believe last year they didn't announce the grants until the summer. So it could take quite a while, before we hear.
Okay. Thank you.
We good? Question, anyone? Any more questions? We're good? You all right?
Yep.
Yes?
Can I just ask Donna, when you read the motion, you may want to say interim town manager?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that how it's written? Of course not. All right, you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, move to refer the acquisition of map 25-4, block 74, lot 49, 0 Chamberlain Highway for open space use to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a report pursuant to section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes to authorize the acceptance of a donation from the Berlin Land Trust in the amount of $20,000 to assist in the acquisition of the parcel. In parentheses, such donation would be made on a matching basis with the town for due diligence costs up to a maximum amount of $7,000, with the balance donated at the closing of the purchase of the property. And appropriate the donation to the Fontanella property account in the Land Acquisition and Development Fund, and to authorize the interim town manager to apply for a grant of $65,000 from the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection's Open Space and Watershed Land Acquisition Program. How's that for a mouthful?
That's great. Second on that?
Second.
Oh, nice. Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right, we'll go ahead. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Okay.
Item 7, authorize the interim town manager
Uh-huh.
to the license agreement between the town and Newport Realty Group LLC to extend the license to a new termination date of December 31st, 2025, subject to review and approval of Corporation Council.
Okay.
Jim is here to answer any questions on that.
What is this, Jim? Just,
The license is while we're doing the environmental work, the engineer
Yes.
control. Newport at the same time is starting its site work. So because they've got to do all this work below the geomembrane that we're installing to cap the soils. So they're doing like utilities and footings and foundations that are going to be below the geomembrane. So this license allows them to do all that before they acquire the property. And it really needs to be done in concert, lockstep. So this is a license that we've had in place for a couple of years. We hope to finish by December 31st. It's questionable whether we're going to get there or hopefully shortly thereafter, if not by the end of the year. But we thought it's just prudent to do another 1-year extension so we don't have to bother with this again. And by then we'll be done with it for sure. Almost for sure.
yeah,
Thank
Careful
you.
what you
I
promise.
appreciate that. Yeah, we'll hold you to that promise. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we good, folks, with this?
Yeah.
All right, take a motion.
Move to authorize the interim town manager to enter into an amendment to the license agreement between the town and Newport Realty Group LLC to extend the license to a new termination date of December 31st, 2025, subject to review and approval of corporate counsel.
Thank you. Second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Okay.
And
Item
number
8,
8.
authorize the interim
B.
town manager to execute a purchase sale agreement with contingencies with Vesta
7.
Corporation / O'Riordan Magani Architects concerning the sale of the former Knights of Columbus property at 143 Principal Avenue,
development as affordable
Oh.
senior housing, subject to review and approval by Corporation Council. Again, this is Jim's night.
Okay, Jim. What do you got?
Well, first, Aaron Greenblatt from Vesta is here, and he's been waiting patiently, and we asked him to kind of give you an update on where they are in the project, and then after that, I'll explain the item. So
Sure.
I'll turn it to Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
All right, great. Thank you for letting me join tonight. As Jim mentioned, just wanted to give a quick update on the project. And have been in touch with Jim along the way to advise him of these steps for the last couple of months. We'll be submitting our first financing application by the end of next week. We've already started some of the due diligence on the property, had a phase 1 environmental report ordered and completed. We've got an estimate for demolition of the existing structure, and we have our architects. Obviously, OMA is a partner in this project, and they are working on site plan. We'll be submitting a wetlands application and planning and zoning application by the end of this year, perhaps within the next 30 days. And just need to get this purchase and sale agreement finalized and executed, and we're going to continue with our due diligence after that, hoping to have all the financing lined up sometime by the middle of next year and start construction, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, within a year from now.
Okay, thank you. Jim, you want to follow up? or-
Sure. So, we have, as you know, we have an existing exclusive negotiating agreement with Vesta. And as Aaron indicated, the next step for them is their first financing application. And they felt they'd be in a lot stronger position if they had a purchase and sale agreement rather than the negotiating agreement. So we've been working with Aaron and his attorney, and Jeff and I, been working on the agreement. And we're ready, I think, we've got something we think we're satisfied with. And I think, a few things I would mention. One is that I might have missed it, but Aaron might not have mentioned that the current plan is for 70 units. Our previous plan was 50. They think they can develop 70 units on the property. I think that the general thought on our part is that, the more units, that affordable units for seniors, the better. So, but obviously that's going to be subject to planning and zoning approval, et cetera. And we have a purchase price that's based on a unit count, which their original unit count was 80. Now it goes down a bit. So if they get approved as 70 units, it would be $437,500. We would have a set of contingencies, or we have a set of contingencies in the proposed agreement, including importantly for that the units be affordable, and that a deed restriction be filed for 99 years, affordable at 60% of median. Although Aaron can comment, but I think the current financing application will have units at both 50 and 60% of median. So but all of them will be below 60% of median. The agreement deals with, making sure that Vesta has all the improvements for approvals for the project and all the financing for the project before the town is obligated to close. They've agreed to pursue the approvals in a diligent manner and apply by certain dates. And they will be looking for a tax fixing agreement, which they indicated up front, to help them make the project feasible and make the units affordable. And that has to be applied for within 180 days of this agreement. So that's kind of a quick outline. I don't know. Jeff has been very involved, so he may have other comments that he wants to make.
What do we say, Counselor?
No, I mean, obviously, this is a different structure than the prior purchase and sale agreement with the Berlin Housing Authority. Number one, it involves the town actually getting paid for the land. And like Jim said, the contingencies are typical contingencies that you would see in this type of deal. I think Vesta's been moving at a good pace. And, we're happy to be able to get this to you within a couple of months of when the exclusive negotiating agreement was first signed. So I think we're on a good track here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly much different than we were looking at before. More units is great too. That's great. And elderly, right? No chance of folks that aren't elderly getting into these units, right?
Good news.
That's very good
Correct.
news.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're certainly looking for, been looking for, so,
We need this.
right?
Yeah, we need
it
our
desperately,
elderly
so
housing.
it's,
This is wonderful.
it's wonderful and different tact, I get it, but it looks like, this is the road to go, obviously. Folks, you have other questions? Any other questions now? We're good?
I'm good.
We're good?
Thank
All right, yes, we're good. Thank you guys for working on this so hard with the developer and Jim and Jeff and everybody. So we appreciate it and look forward to this moving forward. So we'll take a motion. What do we got, a motion in here, right?
Absolutely.
Where's our motion
Okay.
here? Where is our
I
motion?
got it. Okay, so I move to authorize the interim town manager to execute a purchase and sale agreement with contingencies with Vesta Corporation / O'Riordan, I'm gonna torture trash this, Megani Architects concerning the sale of the former Knights of Columbus property at 143 Percival Avenue for development as affordable senior housing, subject to review and approval by corporate council.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right. And no, hearing no other comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed? All right, so moved.
thank you.
Excellent. Thank you,
Wow.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
We're
Thanks.
done.
Hallelujah, huh?
Yeah, have a
Yeah,
party,
yeah.
have a block party, we'll cross
No, what's great is,
Percival Avenue and have a party.
and more units too.
Yeah,
It's even
that's
better.
great, 24 units.
Plus, that's not too far from the current seniors.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
that's-
nice.
You can put something
Close there.
between them.
Wouldn't that be nice? This is really
Put something between
exciting.
them? What do you want to put between them?
No, no,
A tram?
A shuttle.
rent to
Oh, rent to own. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see
Never
what
know.
we can do. Okay, so we are on our appointments, right? So just the first one, I just, usually I like to hear from our chair or someone from the Public Building Commission. Could we just hold off on that till I talk to them, just to make sure? I mean, usually they'll tell me, somebody will tell me like, hey, we like this guy. Or they know, who the person is and he fits in, and I just want to make sure they're okay. It's such an important commission, and I'm sure this gentleman is fine, but I just want to check if that's okay. So we can move on to the Youth Advisory Board. So we'll take, open up nominations for Mr. Battle, or nominate for this position, I should say.
Just a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Item
Do we have two?
13. We have two. Oh, yeah, that's right. Do we have two, or is there two spots, Kate?
Right, yes, there.
Yes, okay, that's what I
All right,
thought.
so he's her item number 13.
Okay,
I
yep.
want to point out
Yep.
that he's representing the youth agency, and he is not a resident of Berlin, and
Ah.
doesn't have to be
Oh,
a
okay,
voter.
okay. Okay. Okay, I see he's got some background with juveniles, obviously.
This has been reviewed by,
Whose spot is he taking? I'm curious.
taken at,
Adam's spot, okay.
so,
reviewed by-
this has been reviewed by, Jamie
Oh,
Miller.
oh,
Mhm.
okay.
She knows both of these people.
Oh, good. Okay, good. And I didn't even ask you, the first gentleman, we don't know about,
I
what, do we
did
know?
give them- So what I've been doing is
Yeah.
when the applications have come in,
Yeah.
I've given them to the liaisons. So I
Okay,
haven't heard anything from Mike Ahern,
okay.
right, but he was notified that this person had put in an application.
I will ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so anyway, we're here on this one. So yes, okay, that's good to hear. So, well, nomination is open for
Ed Battle.
Ed Battle. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, welcome Ed. And we'll go ahead and open the nominations for the second position with Karen Dupree. Any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations. All those in favor of Karen?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. All right, town manager's report.
Okay, so, not a report per se, but I've asked Jim, based on the discussion on item 1 at the last meeting, provide an update concerning the environmental consulting services related to the removal of an underground storage tank at 55 Steel Boulevard. And Jim has an update on that based on last month's discussion.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Jim.
sorry I wasn't at the last meeting. I heard got your guidance about getting proposals. We did reach out to 5 firms. We received 3 proposals. Had, pretty wide range of costs. The low proposal was 11,700 from GeoQuest, but then we had proposals from Lorero at 16 and from Beta at 24,000. This is for environmental services related to the tank removal. The tank that was discovered during the installation of GeoPiers at 55 Steel Boulevard. When we reviewed the proposals, when we issued the RFP for this, we asked for a time and materials not to exceed proposal. And as I had conversations with the low bidder, GeoQuest, I think they made different assumptions in terms of the time required to do different tasks, and then kind of provided that if the time exceeded that there would be additional charges. So it wasn't really fully fulfilling our not to exceed request. So what I've done now is I've asked for Lorero, the second low bidder, and GeoQuest has already provided the number of hours they're allocating to each task. And I'm going to do an analysis of that. I just got some numbers late today from Lorero. And based on that, I'll make a recommendation to the town manager and the finance department on selection of one of the 2 of those firms. And we'll follow the purchasing guidelines and select a firm and go forward and get that underground storage tank removed. I will say that the tank itself, we plan on getting it removed by B&W, which is our site contractor. They'll do the physical work, also removing the underground brick wall. And we'll be processing a change order for them for that, which we're still working on. But we have authorized an amount for change orders, and it will be within that. So that's where we're at. Obviously, we want to get this done as soon as possible, but we were able to, B&W said that they're able to do other work while we're doing this, so they're not totally stopped at the site. And I got a communication from them today. Their surveyor was doing some work yesterday, and they expect to be out on the site by Thursday again. So they're going to be resuming other work on the site, but we do need to get this underground storage tank resolved. And so that's where we're at. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. So the quote is 11,000?
11,700, but
11,700.
again, it's not really comparing apples and apples and in terms of a not to exceed. So I'm going to do a time comparison also, because it's going to be a time and materials up to the not to exceed amount, and make sure that they really are the low,
before we award.
Okay, appreciate you doing that. We all good with that? We got a lower price, good, get it done. I know we gotta move that project forward. You good, Charlie, with it? Oh, mute. You get it.
You're on mute.
You're muted, Charlie. Hey.
Yeah.
Are you-
Thumb up if you're good with it.
Thumb up, you good?
Question.
Are you good? Unless you have a quick, can't hear you, Charlie. Not that finger, your thumb, not that finger, the thumb. Wait a second. All right. So we're good. We're good, Jim.
Good, good. We'll proceed and get this done.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, thank you, Lee, for the short town manager's report. That's always helpful at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. So where are we at? Especially this,
Special committee report.
I don't, there are none, right? Okay, moving on to council communications. Do we have
Hold on
any?
1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Calendar committee.
Oh, the calendar committee. Oh, my God.
Small but mighty.
Yeah, that's right. You got to fight with all the other members too, huh?
Oh,
It's awful.
Very interesting.
Hold on a second. I thought that was renamed the Brendan Luddy Memorial Committee.
Yeah, really. He had it for years. Yeah. It's tough.
My goal is for the next committee meeting to get a tentative schedule to everybody. Then you'll have time to take a look at it, and then hopefully the meeting after that, we can discuss and finalize it.
Great.
So we'll
Thank
be
you.
Set for 25.
Please extend our, yeah, you're on top of it. We thank
Have a
you.
good team.
Yeah, and could you thank all the other members of the committee for us, for them working?
Myself and I.
Yes, thank you
Got
all.
it.
It's all good, yeah. And I'm sure you all talk to each other in different voices and whatever is going on. That's- Yeah, yes, it's all good. Thank you, Sandy. All right, anyone else? No other special committees? All right, council communications, what do we have, folks? Anything?
I just have no, I'm good this week.
What? You're good? Oh, good. Okay, Mark. You're still mad? Don't be mad. Be glad. It's coming. It's all coming. Yes.
The housing authority and taxes and
Oh, yeah, whatever happened with that?
did they pay their taxes?
What happened with that? Did we know, Kay? Did we remember? Yeah, good point.
So it was left that they were supposed to come back, and I believe that there might have been a little bit of confusion over what year taxes they were looking for. And that whole bit. So it hasn't been brought forth on any point unless Joe has reached out to Lee, but I don't think that has happened.
All right, Lee.
They have to pay taxes before it becomes delinquent and moves into a collection scenario.
And for anybody too. I mean, for the, right. Yeah, what is the time frame? Just out of curiosity. But, yeah,
There's not a statutory time frame. I mean, when
there is.
no, it's each installment is due and payable without penalty by August 1st and February 1st.
Right.
And then interest begins to accrue at the rate of 1.5% per month. There's an inchoate lien. You file a certificate of continuation on land records after 1 year. In terms of when it gets placed for collection, that's discretionary for the tax collector. I don't think the town has a policy.
I mean, it sounds like we need one, right? I mean, because I've heard recently of a couple, I think Donna just heard of one too, that it seems to be moving pretty quickly to collections, and that's fine if it's the policy, but you know, if we're gonna treat people differently, right? We should have a policy for that. What do you think, Jeff? I mean,
And most towns don't have any policy
They don't?
because it really, you really got to do it on a case by case basis.
Okay,
You know, I mean, if you have a dollar threshold where you say, you know, anything over $5,000, we're going to put in collection.
yeah,
Well, you could have a commercial property taxpayer, even a residential taxpayer, that's 1/2 of 1 year.
okay,
Others, if you say, you know, okay, well, that's too low, we'll do 10,000. Well, for some people, that could be 2 years worth of taxes.
yeah,
So I think you really got to do it on a case by case basis. If you want to come up with a policy, it should be based on the number of installments missed,
oh, okay,
you know?
As opposed to dollar.
Yeah, because we have a first priority lien. So it's not like we have to rush into foreclose if we find out that there's a mortgage foreclosure. We'll sit back and let the mortgage foreclosure happen because we know we're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
But if you
well,
wanted to talk about a policy, I'd bring Deb in and ask her what her
Okay.
thoughts are. She may have one in her head. I haven't talked.
Yeah, okay, because I mean, to me, we don't want it to appear, discretionary that whatever suits their fancy that day or whatever.
Sometimes it's
What?
important discretion, do you know what I mean? So I think we need to be careful.
Be careful, yes,
By way of example, like,
Yes.
I just did one where it was a probate estate that
Yeah.
languished through no fault of anyone
Yeah.
except a fiduciary that wasn't doing their job.
okay, yeah,
You know what I mean? So we end up being able to sell it and pay it, so there weren't any collection costs, which is
Yeah.
sort of terrific, you know what I mean? So
but,
sometimes
but,
there can be,
but they didn't rush that to collection.
no, I.
That's kind of my
we kept
point,
in
though.
Communication with
Right.
them,
But that's
kept
my,
them apprised of what we're doing.
you just proved my point that they finished it before it goes to collections, to Attorney Cohen, let's put it that way. Because a couple lately seems to have been shipped off fairly quickly, at least a couple people spoke to me. Donna, you might have had somebody that spoke to you, and I just, so it brings up a policy or some type of, I get the discretion, and it is up to the tax collector to do what they gotta do, but on the other hand, there should be some, because why have to send it that way? If you do, like you said, keep up communication and try and get it done, right? Work it out, yeah. So maybe,
I mean, I've heard some people,
look into it and see what you could report back. Does that make sense?
yeah, because I mean, I think some of them have been, at least a couple of the ones that I've heard have been pretty quick to go to collections, between 60 and 90 days. And
I've heard that on
I
one
don't know
too.
if that's
Yeah, one was
standard
quick.
or not. And, so I think maybe to have a discussion on it would be good.
Yeah, yeah, just so we know too, because we do, unfortunately, we do get approached, about people's taxes. They ask us and, we kind of know the process, but, sometimes they have information on something that went quick. Hey, how come mine went in 60 days and Joe's down the street didn't go for 2 years, right? And there may be, I get it, there's different circumstances for everyone, but yeah, I'd like to just hear the rationale, how they do it. And Deb's very good, and I'm not questioning what she's doing. I'm just so we know. Yeah, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. And is that it? Any other council communications? We're good. So acceptance of minutes, I'll take a motion, Donna,
A motion to accept the minutes of
October 1st.
October 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Second?
Second,
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved. And we're gonna move into, executive session, so we'll take a motion by that. A motion to,
A motion, I'm sorry.
all right, that's,
motion to accept
and we're gonna invoke, who are we inviting in here? Who are we? Just Mr. Jeff and Lee. Okay, invited in, and second for that?
second,
Okay, and the time is, we'll say 9:10, just a few minutes to clear the huge crowd out of the room. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, aye. All right, thank you. We'll take a few minutes. Thank you. All right, folks, you gotta quiet down out there. You gotta go.
Are you gonna call? Charlie, are you calling in?
Thumbs up. Thumb up if you're calling, thumb down. Can't hear you.
I think we have to get the number up there.
Okay, I had,
Gotcha.
I-
Are you calling in?
Somebody text me a phone number, please.
Well.
We can,
You got it.
Charlie, text your
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
I'm gonna end the meeting, or no, I'm gonna pause the meeting, we'll come back in afterwards.